Hello, everyone. I'm Major Garrett in Washington. Welcome to The Takeout. Star power admires star power. It's true in sports, business, Hollywood, and politics. There's no better way to summarize the collegial, chummy, and at times, here, let me help you with that tough question, bon ami, of President Trump's press conference with New York Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani. Before Mamdani won, Trump called him a communist. Mamdani has called Trump a fascist. That all disappeared today, or, more to the point, was set aside in the face of the reality of power and what to make of it.
I can tell you some of my views have changed, and we had discussions on some things. I'm not going to discuss what they were, but that I feel very confident that he can do a very good job. I think he is going to surprise some conservative people, actually. And some very liberal people, he won't surprise them because they already like him.
Mamdani is the incoming mayor. Trump is president who has faced some recent political setbacks and is bedeviled by sagging poll numbers on the economy and inflation. They both, in other words, need to circle the wagons on affordability. And they did so, weaving that issue into almost every answer.
Well, I actually told the president that, so much of the focus of our campaign has been on the cost of living crisis. And when we asked those New Yorkers who had voted for the president, when we saw an increase in his numbers in New York City, that came back to the same issue, cost of living, cost of living, cost of living.
Trump called Mamdani different, amazing, downplayed his status as a democratic socialist at one point, saying he doesn't care at all about political affiliations or parties. He said the two have the same ideas on housing, the cost of groceries, and public safety.
We had some interesting conversation, and some of his ideas really are the same ideas that I have. But a big thing on cost, the new word is affordability. Another word is just groceries. It's sort of an old-fashioned word, but it's very accurate. And they're coming down high. They were... we had, both of us, we had the highest inflation in the history of our country the last 4 years.
Trump even bestowed the ultimate compliment that Mamdani wants to and has a chance to, wait for it, make New York great again, adding, I expect to be helping him, not hurting him. For more on this I love New York moment in American presidential history, let me bring in our political director, Fin Gómez. Fin, great to have you here. Let me play some other sound.
Yeah.
Because this goes to where I started. Star power admires star power. This is the president talking about the rather large-sized press contingent there for Mamdani's arrival and everything that ensued. Watch.
The press has eaten this thing up. I've had a lot of meetings with the heads of major countries. Nobody cared. This meeting that you people have gone crazy. Outside you have hundreds of people waiting. This is just a small little group. For some reason, the press has found this to be a very interesting meeting. The biggest people in the world, they come over from countries nobody cares. But they did care about this meeting, and it was a great meeting.
They cared about it because Mamdani has star power of his own.
It's absolutely right, Major. And I think this is a situation here where game respects game, right? These are two political athletes with key, special political skill sets here. And I think that they're respecting each other on that level. I think you saw that. Also, the parallels don't stop there. If you look at it, they were both anti-establishment candidates that came out of virtually nowhere, took on their parties, won in their respective races, and on the issue, as you noted, on the issue of affordability. And they also won with whom? What part of the demographic? Working class voters. There's areas there where there are parallels, and there's connective tissue there.
There's a horseshoe metaphor that is often overlooked about the 2016 campaign.
Sure.
You had the Trump supporters and the Bernie Sanders supporters, and the establishment Republican and Democrats at the bottom of that horseshoe. But at the top of that horseshoe, the Trump supporters and the Bernie Sanders supporters. President Trump referred to that with Mamdani standing next to him, because Mamdani, of course, very close to Bernie Sanders. Let's listen.
We were discussing when Bernie Sanders was out of the race, I picked up a lot of his votes, and people had no idea, because he was strong on not getting ripped off in trade and lots of the things that I've practiced and been very successful on. Tariffs, a lot of things. Bernie Sanders and I agreed on much more than people thought.
People overlook that about the Trump phenomenon, this populist core that is not necessarily Republican or Democrat, and that there are elements of either socialism or things that sound socialistic that found their way into the Trump coalition. And are now part of the Mamdani coalition.
Absolutely. And Mamdani even talked about those Trump supporters who voted for him in this race. Campaign. 1 out of 10, he said, because of affordability, because of the same issues that they're both populists. They do align on that level on so many of those economic issues, even though diametrically they're opposite on many other issues, of course. But even there was even that moment where he saved them from when he was asked about Mamdani's previous statements of calling the president a fascist. He even pat him on his hand and save them from.
I'm going to pat you on the arm because I'm going to stop you right there because we need to watch this. Watch it. Watch it.
And I want to clarify your answer to Stephen Nelson. He asked about your comment calling the president a fascist, and your answer was, both President Trump and I have been clear about our positions and our views. Are you affirming that you think President Trump is a fascist?
I've spoken about...
That's okay. You can just say yes.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Yeah. It's easier. It's easier than explaining it. I don't mind.
Wow.
Fin, come on. I mean, what?
Yeah, I mean, I think this meeting, ahead of this meeting, it could have gone sideways. It could have gone a lot of different ways. This is one that yes, it was a potential likelihood, but seeing these moments, and it was frankly shocking and fascinating in a lot of ways. It also throws a wrench into the House Republicans' plans because they basically are trying to pin Mamdani as like the poster boy for the Democratic Party going into the midterms, right? Even Elise Stefanik, Elise Stefanik, who
running for governor now in New York.
She's a Republican congressman, close Trump ally. They called Mamdani a jihadist, right?
The president was asked about that
specifically, and basically deflated that.
He said no. He's a rational man.
He's a
President's direct answer.
Very rational man. Thought he could be a good mayor.
And this morning, the House Republican majority passed a resolution condemning socialism. A bunch of Democrats voted for it, and that has not been nullified as an issue, but this event takes some of the steam out of that for sure.
Absolutely. Even talking to Democrats, they're very surprised by it.
Fin Gómez.